What's up, y'all? I'm here to talk about Season 3, Episode 8 of The Chi. Now look, y'all, normally I have notes on my laptop to really help guide me through the video, but this time I'm just gonna wing it, right? This episode, it's a lot to unpack from this episode for real. I usually say that, but it's a whole lot going on. This episode solely centers around the PTSD that Keisha is experiencing after she's been freed or she escaped her captor, her kidnapper, right? And in this episode, we find out that the kidnapper is in fact dead. That Keisha killed him with all them blows that she was dealing out. Because in my mind, in the last episode, when I saw her hitting him and hitting him and hitting him and hitting him, I'm like, damn, she hitting him like we be wanting people to hit the killer in these scary movies. Like, keep hitting him, keep hitting him, keep hitting him. Don't stop hitting him after 1 or 2 times. The way she kept delivering those blows, I figured he probably was gone. Either he was badly hurt or he was gone. And it is confirmed that he is dead. But in this episode, Keisha is really closed off from her family. She's not really talking to them. They haven't asked her about what happened the whole time she was held captive. Even at the beginning of the episode, we see her put a chair under her doorknob so nobody can get in. She's checking her windows, making sure her windows are locked. And she's sitting there with a pair of scissors in her hand. And I promise y'all, I was fearing the most. Like, please do not let Keisha try to commit suicide. Please don't let that be the case. But luckily and thankfully, that wasn't the case. So I'm glad about that, right? But yet and still, Dre and Nina are trying to get Keisha to come around. And in my opinion, Dre is moving way too hastily. Like, she was irking my nerves this whole episode. How she was trying to be so pushy about getting Keisha to reveal certain things and trying to get her to talk so hastily. Like, look, it's gonna take a little time. Of course, eventually Keisha's gonna have to talk and reveal certain things. She's gonna have to talk to a therapist. She's gonna have to get treatment for sure. But the way that Dre was going about it, it was just like she was being too pushy. Like, even in ways that Nina wasn't. And I feel like she was overstepping her boundaries. Yes, Dre is Keisha's stepmother, but at the same time, she's doing stuff without even running it by Nina. Like, she's just going and doing it on her own. Really trying to she's doing way too much. And it's really causing her and Nina, Dre and Nina, to bump heads because she's just doing things so sporadically and like spontaneously. Like, listen, we got to discuss these things before we try to bring these things to Keisha. Like, she keep on talking like, let's hurry up. We got to do it. We got to get a treatment. Like, look, ease her into it. She just got home. Let her, get back in a setting where she feels at least relaxed and at ease and, where she's been away from her captor not that long. Let it soak all in before you try to just dive in with all the hard stuff back to back. But Dre wasn't listening the whole episode. Even when she invited the friend over. I'm like, come on, man. Like, you didn't even talk to Nina about it. You just gonna invite the friend over. And at first it seemed like it was cool. Keisha wasn't coming out of her room. She was going to the bathroom. She was expressing, really having this attitude with everybody. And because she's conflicted. She's battling with everything. She killed this man, so she's seeing this man face time and time again. And she also knows that this guy was out here abusing her. He kidnapped her and had her from her family, abusing her sexually for what, 2 months or something like that. It was just, it's been a real crazy, traumatic time for her, and she really just trying to deal with the whole thing. But when a friend comes over and the friend is trying to act like, everything is back to normal, then Keisha asks her what everybody's been talking about. What has everybody been saying about me? And then when she reveals that people were saying, oh, this is the key part right here. When she says that some people are saying that Omari was your side piece. And he found out about Nook or whatever, and then he went crazy and kidnapped you. I think Nook or something like that, whatever name she used, is the track coach. And I think Omari, the guy that kidnapped her, was connected to the track team in some way. As I said before, in my previous videos, we've seen track uniforms all at the kidnapper's house. We saw track uniforms lined up, and I'm like, damn, he got to be connected to this school somehow. He's connected to the track team in some way, and I believe that he is, especially when the girl knew the guy's name and said, oh, we found out about the coach that you was messing with. He went crazy, and that's what sparked everything else. And then Keisha, like, hold on, but you was in the newspaper clippings. You was basically trying to doubt, like, you really wasn't trying to give credence to my story. You don't never know. You can never know what happened. Like, damn, like, you might supposed to be my homegirl. You supposed to ride with me. And so they get conflicted. the girl and Keisha and the girl are cussing each other out, and the girl leaves. Keisha kicks the girl out of the house, and she storms out pissed. And see, that's my thing. Dre thinking she's doing the right thing and just overstepping her boundaries and just jumping the gun. She's creating an element of chaos a little bit within Keisha's life. Would bring, like, not all the way, not intentionally, but she's trying to force certain things to be. I'm just writing friends over left and right without running it by Nina. You gotta talk to her about how to do things with her child. Like, she knows her child best. She birthed that baby. She birthed that girl. You gotta run things by her before you just trying to do all whatever you want to do willy-nilly, right? So also in this episode, we see that Kevin's life is being affected by Keisha being abducted. Ever since Keisha has returned, her family, their family, well, Nina and Dre want Kevin to stay home more and spend time with his sister. However, he knows that Keisha is opposed to this. She don't want people all in her face, asking her questions and all up under her. So he like, damn, like she don't really want people around anyway. So I want to go back to my normal life and having fun with my friends. But they looking like, hold on, no, you got to spend time with your sister. She been gone for a long time. Like, make her feel at home. Kevin is starting to get pissed about it. He looking like, man, I want to be back to my old regular life. And he starts to, like, he cussing too damn much for me. Like, he doing a lot of damn cussing. And in my head, I'm thinking, man, these are black, not even just black parents. I know black Chicago mamas, they not playing that shit. Like, I'm looking like he cussing, and then he bumped when he was sitting where they told him he had to stay home. He couldn't go with Kevin and Papa. Not Kevin and Papa. He couldn't go with Jake and Papa. And Nina's right here, and, Dre is right here, Nina's right here. He walked past and bumped him when he found out he couldn't go. I'm like, oh, hell no. He giving out shoulder bumps and all that. It's time to whoop his ass. You got to whoop his ass. Like, he doing a lot right now. Like, first he doing all the cussing, and he bumping folks a little bit. Like, nah, bro, that ain't cool. Eventually over the episode, we see that Jada comes by with Emmett. And before, like, I promise y'all, before anybody could even say anything, like, even before he interacted with Keisha, in my mind I was saying, Emmett is going to be the one to bring Keisha out of all of this. He's going to bring her out of that sorrow, out of that state of despair, and, like, this state of just shock and this PTSD condition that she's in. Like, I think he's really going to be the one to bring light into her life and get her right back where she needs to be. That's what I was thinking at first. And then, sure enough, when he comes in, he speaks to Kevin. He talking to Kevin. He found out Keisha not coming out of her room. She basically just staring at the walls all day. He knocks. And when he knocks and Keisha comes to the door, she pulls him in by the hand. And Dre like, oh my God, look at this dude. And I promise y'all, Emmett is a charmer for real. Like, the boy really has a way with women like him. Women like him in general. And he uses that. Well, him and Keisha had a relationship before. But him knowing that Keisha, he knows how to get to Keisha and how to talk to her. And I believe he truly, really cares for her. He was really concerned about her well-being. He really wanted to make sure she was okay. Even when he wasn't dating her and he found out she was dating this grown dude, I don't think Emmett was trying to get to end that relationship with the coach out of jealousy. I don't think he was jealous of the guy messing with Keisha. I really think he knew that wasn't right for him to be that grown man to be really out here, like, being sexually attracted and having a sexual relationship with a minor. Like, you know what I mean? He really was concerned for Keisha's well-being in that instance. And Keisha knows that he cares. So it's easy for her to let her guard down with him and talk to him. And when he comes in the room, they start talking, they start laughing. He reveals that, hey, he slept with Dom, who was Lala's character, and he reveals that he has his business going and booming, and he offers her food, like, look, I got some food, and then she's just laughing, and she's back to her normal self, it seems, for a while. Like, I'm like, man, Emmett really got away with charming the women. Like, they really take to him. He really is able to make them smile and laugh, and he really is, he's himself through and through, but he seems like a genuine person, for real. And so a lot of the women, the women characters in the show are drawn to that. Even during his worst moments, he figures out a way to still redeem himself in the eyes of a lot of the female characters. So it's really good to see that Keisha is starting to just not unravel. She's really starting to, take down or knock down a wall that she has up when she talks to Emmett. Right? So she eats the food. She's out there smiling and laughing up a storm with Emmett. And not Jada, but Nina and Dre are surprised because they in the room. They thinking like, oh my God, she ain't gonna talk to us, so we just gonna sit in the room and I guess, just let her have her time with Emmett. They hear her in the front room laughing and joking. They come out like shocked and just really in a state of just like, damn, she is really, really out here interacting and starting to have some type of normalcy a little bit. But here's where the problem comes in. In this episode, I'm seeing that a lot of people don't know how to really respond to Keisha being back. They don't know if they should act like everything is normal. They don't know if they should talk about it. They don't know how to take certain things, how to really interact with her for real. And we see it with Papa. Now, Papa, the guy, Omari or whatever, the one that kidnapped Keisha. He used to come around the pizza parlor. He used to come to the pizza place, right? And he used to give tips. He used to give a lot of tips to Papa. Papa like, man, I used to get tips from that guy. I need to get these tips off of my hands because that ain't no good dude. But Papa foolishly, hey, he's a kid, I understand. He gonna get the tips to Keisha. I'm like, bro, what the hell? Like, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. That's not like, bro, she don't want to see that. You ain't supposed to bring that, even bring it up. It's like super weird. It's super weird for him to say, hey, Keisha, these are the tips from the guy that kidnapped you. I want to get them off my hands, and here you go. Like, she like, I don't want that. I don't want that at all. He like, I don't want it either. Like, and it sparks a whole conversation of Keisha becoming furious. She's furious because she's super hurt. She felt like she was on her own for so long, and she really didn't know. I guess she didn't really know if they were really trying that hard to look for her, and she really going through a process where she's blaming herself, she's blaming her family, she's blaming everybody but the kidnapper for what happened to her, right? She goes and say, y'all didn't look for me hard enough. I was right down the street. Why the hell y'all didn't look for me? Dre like, look, we did look for you. She like, look, at a damn candlelight vigil, you gave one speech, that wasn't enough, and we was out looking for you all the time, and y'all could have looked harder. She's snapping on them. Y'all could have looked harder. At this point, Kevin becomes fed up because he feel like, okay, she blaming everybody for what happened, and she's acting so standoffish and cold to her own family, who was concerned for her the most during the time when she was gone. Kevin loses his damn mind. He reveals that they packed up her room, or Drake packed up her room when she was missing for those 2 months. He reveals that he just starts snapping off on her like, look, it's your fault that you got taken because you was out here dressed like you was out here running wild in the streets all the time. I was covering for you, lying for you. You was out here being grown, being fast, and that's your fault that all this happened to you because you was out here trying to be grown and trying to sneak off every single time, and that's what happens when you do that. And I'm like, damn, Kevin. Then he storms off going to the room and all this and all of that. And then at that point, we get back to the victim blaming that we see a lot in our black community. And I'm going to talk to my black people specifically. When things happen to young girls, and young girls are violated in our community, a lot of my black people go to, especially the church-going black folks, a lot of them go to, how was she presenting herself? Was she dressed real loosely? Was she wearing real tight clothing, revealing clothing? Did she have a reputation for being promiscuous? Did she like a whole lot of guys in her face, and so on and so forth? Rather than just being concerned for the girl's safety and really being angry at the kidnapper, they start turning, their whole ideology turns to the victim. Oh, what could she have done to not put herself in this situation? Fam, she couldn't have did nothing. She did everything. She wasn't doing nothing wrong. She was sitting at the bus stop and she got kidnapped. That's it. And again, it don't matter if she was walking down, and Nina says this in the episode, it don't matter if you was walking down the street damn naked. I don't give a damn if you was naked. That don't give nobody the right to violate you or hurt you. And that's really a great point that I really wanted to be seen in this show. And I'm glad that Lena Waithe touched on that. I remember when R. Kelly, when everybody with the R. Kelly situation was going on, right? And all the girls were coming out and confessing what happened to them. You had grown-ass men, like real cringe-worthy shit. Grown-ass men blaming 15 and 14-year-old girls for being fast instead of blaming R. Kelly's overgrown ass lusting for little babies. Lusting out here for little babies. Because I don't give a damn. You can bring a 14, 15-year-old girl to my step right now. Her parents can bring her to my step right now and say, here you go. I'm never going to violate that baby because I'm a grown man. I got morals and ethics, and I know that's some foul shit to be doing. I would never violate a child like that. Now, I'm not going to blame the parent. Or well, yeah, you can blame the parent if the parent bring the daughter to me. But I'm not going to blame the girl, the little baby. How the hell am I going to blame a baby for like she doesn't have, her cognitive development is not where it needs to be at 14, 15 years old to understand what's really, really going on. And a lot of victims, a lot of perpetrators know that. R. Kelly in that instance, he knew that. So he was violating these babies because he know he can manipulate them. They weren't developed in their mind. He can manipulate them. And then he had such a charm over everybody that people should start blaming the victims. And that's what happens in this episode. Like, Kevin blamed her for dressing all loosely. And we saw it at the beginning of the season where people were like, well, I heard she was dressing fast on this little private Instagram account that she had. And man, listen, I don't care if the girl was doing porn. I don't give a damn. You know what I mean? She got violated, and that's wrong. She got kidnapped. That's never okay. And I'm glad that they touched on that in this show. But nonetheless, man, when they go in there in the room with Kevin after he has his big blow up, and they really try to like tell him about himself and how the hell he needs to relax and calm down and what the hell is he doing? Why would he reveal those things to his sister that could hurt her? Because it really does hurt that she finds out that they were packing up her things. He goes off into a tangent. He cussing and hollering and yelling and cussing out his parents. And I'm like, what the hell is you doing, bro? And I'm looking like, Nina, if you don't slap the hell out of this boy, I promise y'all right now, my mama is one of the sweetest souls you know, right? My mama didn't play that. She ruled that crib with an iron fist. If I would have been cussing at her, cussing and bumping on shit, boy, she would have knocked the hell up out me, man. She would have dropped me, for real, for real. Then my pops would have came over there and dropped me again. You know what I mean? But I know Kevin's pops has passed away. But I'm looking like, Nina, don't let this man raise his voice and holler and cuss up in the house. You paying rent? Hell no. Smack him or something. Hey, look, he doing too much grown ass cussing for me. I ain't like that. I'm like, come on now. He ain't. This too much. This too much. So at that point, Jake and Papa decide to leave. But then Jada goes into the room and talks to Keisha. And when she's talking to Keisha, it is revealed that Jada was molested, sexually assaulted by a family member. So they bond over that, and they kind of like she's trying to encourage her that everything's going to be okay. You know what I mean? But it's going to take some time. You know what I mean? And she got like the wall that she has up and this resentment that she holding towards her family is not good. They were the ones who were out there looking for her and cared about her well-being the most. For real, her and the family and Emmett and Ronnie, of course, right? Ronnie was the guy that was out here full force. He the one that freed her, and he's the reason why she escaped. But he was out here really pursuing leads on where Keisha was. So Jada breaks it down for her. They have a discussion about it, and I'm like, okay, cool. Hopefully Keisha can come to realize the error in her ways, and hopefully she can seek some counseling for what's happened to her. At the end of the episode, towards the end of the episode, Ronnie makes his appearance. I was wondering, like, where is Ronnie gonna be at? Like, you know what I mean? I know he has to be in this episode, especially after he is the reason why she's free. Flashback too. I want to just say this right quick. When Keisha's friend is doing her hair, she zones out, and I'm thinking like, damn, she really thinking about how the dude Omari or whatever his name was, the kidnapper. I'm hoping I'm saying his name right. How he used to play in her hair and cut her hair off her head and all type of weirdo, crazy pedophile shit he was doing. Like all that weirdo pedophile stuff or whatever. But, yeah, like she had a flashback about that. So she's having flashbacks about this man and all the trauma that she's endured. And she needs help. But I didn't like that Dre was trying to just shove it down her throat instead of just letting her ease into things. She overstepping her boundaries, trying to force everything, and that's never a good play. But anyway, we find out that Keisha has asked, she's asked Ronnie to come to the house. And Ronnie comes over, Ronnie speaks with her. She tells him, look, I see this man face all the time. I killed this man. I see his face. And he reveals, man, that's how it is. Because he sees Coogie's face every single day after killing him, thinking that he killed Jason, right? And, you know, he reassures her that everything's going to be okay. He cracks jokes with her. Please don't turn to brown. Please don't turn to brown liquor. Like I drown my sorrows in after the fact, right? And then at the end of the conversation, we get what I really knew, from this whole season. She says thank you to Ronnie. Ronnie said, don't thank me. Like he got to thank her. And she said, why? He said, because you gave me she gave his life meaning. She gave his life purpose. Before that, Ronnie, after Jason's death, Ronnie was just wandering around hopelessly, getting drunk out of his mind, especially after he killed Coogie, not knowing what to do, not really knowing what to do with his life, not knowing what direction his life was supposed to be headed in. When his grandma Ethel told him he was going to find Keisha, that he was going to find her, he made that his job to do that, to carry out that task. Even when his friends went out to Springfield and got a job and moved elsewhere, he stayed in Chicago because he felt like his purpose was to find Keisha and bring her home safely to her family. And he always was following up on leads, contacting Dre, the whole nine. And now he has redeemed himself as a character in many of the viewers' eyes. You know what I mean? In many viewers' eyes, I can't speak for every viewer of this show, but he's redeemed himself tremendously after killing Ronnie. Not killing Ronnie, after killing Coogie, right? At the beginning of the season, he tries to go to Brandon's funeral. Everybody is just shunning him off, telling him get the hell up out of here. They shooing him. They like, what the hell is you doing here? They're ready to fight him and all type of crazy stuff. Really, they got a lot of resentment to him. Rightfully so, right? You're not going to show up at the funeral of a guy whose brother you killed. Like, come on, man. But anyway, everybody they're starting to really, Ronnie is getting the respect as a character now. He's really starting to get, he's redeemed himself. And people are really starting to look at him as a good guy in their eyes. And it's like, man, it's all like everything is all going to make, Ronnie's character is going to make sense now. Ronnie's character is going to, he's gotten much needed redemption this season. I'm really, really happy about that, especially after the death of his grandmother. Because at this point, Jason's not living, Grandma Ethel is not living, his grandbaby, Jason's girlfriend told him, hey, you're not our real grandfather. He's not really in the life of the grandbaby like that anymore. He's found purpose in his life, and I think he's really going to get his life in order for real. I'm wondering in this upcoming episode, is Tiff going to find out about Emmett messing with Dom? And when she finds out, is she going to mess with, what's Corey Hardrick, Tia Mowry's husband in the show? Whatever the character in that second episode, she was selling weed to him, and he was telling her, look, you can come through if you want to get served up. And you know what he's serving. He ain't serving no weed. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to serve that rod to that young lady. You know what I'm saying? I'm wondering if she's going to find out about him messing with Dom, and Tiff is going to mess with Dude. I don't know, man. There's really a lot to unpack. But at the end of the episode, we see that Keisha finally, she gives in. She stops fighting it. She goes to counseling. She's on her way to counseling with Dre and Nina. Oh, at the end of the episode, she burns all the clothes that she deems provocative and all of that, and her old medals and tracks. She lost her scholarship. A lot of started to unravel in her life. And I knew that once the guy was playing in her hair, telling her how she looked like a slut and all that, how she looked clean when he cut her hair, she was going to start to view herself differently. She was going to start to view herself as carry herself more ladylike, and she was going to change her whole image. And that's what she's done. She's burned those clothes. She started to victim blame herself and say, hey, if I wasn't wearing these clothes or dressing like this, those things wouldn't have happened to me. Nina reassures her that, hey, them clothes ain't got nothing to do with it. That dude was sick as hell. It's not your fault that you got hurt and you got harmed. She finally gives in and goes to counseling. As the episode ends, we see her, with a hat on her head and a big winter coat on, and she's going to counseling. And I'm looking like, yes, let's get this girl the healing that she needs, man. I'm interested to see what's going to happen in episode 9. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode as well. Drop it in the comment section below. I thank y'all for rocking with me. Keep liking the videos and subscribing to the channel. Tell a friend. Peace.